Okay, so welcome to our first ever podcast.
Yes. Hitting the big screen, you might say.
Yeah. Been wanting to do this for, 5-10 years maybe, and we're finally doing it, so it's great. The podcast is going to be called Brighter Horizons. The reason being, our company strapline is navigating Brighter Horizons. It's a new branding strategy that we're putting in place. It sort of encompasses everything that we do as a business. And we want to talk about weekly about everything to do with maritime. We're dead passionate about it. Everything we do is maritime, ships, cruise liners, ferries. So as well as talking about what we are and what we do, I want to...
Yeah, a bit of industry guidance. I mean, it's such a huge industry and it can seem quite confusing to people. So any sort of guidance we can offer is an asset, really, isn't it? So
definitely
take it from there, really.
Yeah, and so what is it, do you think, that's so exciting about the industry? The
weird thing I find about maritime is this is an industry that makes the world go round, right? You know, all trade is based on it, or even, cruise ships, commercial, and it's such a huge industry. But the weird thing is it's actually made up by not as many companies as you would think. If you're an outside person on the street, you'd probably think it's all these huge offices, faceless offices around the world. But when you're inside it, it's a lot of sort of, how we say, smaller companies, and it's a very personable industry. It's all about people.
It's funny, isn't it? When we ever go to exhibitions that are related to maritime, we know practically everybody there, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
It's you wander around and you bump into somebody you haven't seen for 2 or 3 years.
And you make friends for life. When my daughter was born, I got presents for her from people who've met through work who've never actually met her, and it's stuff like that's quite touching, I find. So, yeah. Yeah,
so we're going to be talking about maritime. We're going to be talking about the fun that goes on in the industry, the stuff that we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Anecdotes, shall we say?
I'll give you a little bit of history. Andrew, I know you already know this, but Solarglide, we're not a solar panel company. A lot of people, when they see the name, they think we do solar panels. We don't. We do blinds, window wipers, window films, that sort of thing for ships and cruise liners. Started in 2008, so we're about 18, is that right? 18 years old now, maybe.
Maths live on screen, Christ, yeah.
Coming up to 19. It's scary how quickly that's gone by. Just to give you a little bit of my background, I'm fourth generation maritime. My great-grandfather and my grandfather, Smith's Shipyard on the Tyne, involved in shipbuilding. My father, who currently works in the company as well, he had his own maritime company. He's no longer part of that, and he's a key part in our business now. So fourth generation and possibly fifth generation if my son follows suit. It's been good. It's an industry for me I'm very passionate about. I've worked in it for all of my career. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I'm first generation, but I did the traditional route of going into the university system, come out and got a job in a maritime navigation company that also was based in the Northeast, specialising in magnetic compasses and things like that. And then, shall we say, to excuse the pun, I jumped ship to the good ship Solarglide. And this is where we are now, doing the podcast. So my actual role within the company is the projects manager. So any big projects basically come through me, and it's organising the logistics, the commercial.
I'll tell you what, we haven't introduced ourselves.
I'm
Paul Pringle. I'm the managing director at Solarglide.
And I'm Andrew Payne, the projects manager at Solarglide. So, like we were saying, any big projects come through me, organising the logistics, the commercial aspects of them, the installations, the surveys, anything and everything kind of side of stuff comes through that. And then you're more the strategic role of the business and the managing director.
Yeah, so we're a close-knit team. We manufacture everything in the Northeast as well. When I say everything, I mean the blind systems that we offer, the window wiper systems that we supply, and we're not only shipping all around the world, we're delivering into the UK, we're delivering into all aspects of the industry, aren't we? So we supply to, let's just give you a quick list, shipping companies, ship managers, private owners of yachts, shipyards, oil rigs,
cranes,
mobile
cabins, when
you say mobile cabins, you mean modules?
Modular systems
that are kind of, when you see containers, and they've had windows put in and stuff, and they put them on offshore platforms, don't they? They take them out. So we're doing a lot with offshore companies as well, mainly in Scotland and the UK as well. So it's good business, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good business. So I mean, from there, maybe we should go into the products really and sort of
Okay.
delve into
Do
them.
you want to give a sort of rundown of the sort of products
Yeah,
that we're
certainly.
offering?
So our key product is the solar screens. That's kind of where Solarglide as a name comes from, let's be honest. It's a specialized screen using a solar film that's designed to reduce UV and glare coming through the window glass. For people who haven't been on board a vessel, the wheelhouse of a vessel can effectively become like a giant greenhouse, and we're really meaning like a greenhouse because it's getting UV reflection off the sea and through very thick panes of glass. So it can become a very uncomfortable working environment.
I was on Disney Fantasy for less than a month ago, and with no blinds up, it was boring.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think a lot of crew, even though you don't necessarily have to have it through legislation, I think a lot of people are like, if they jump from one ship to the next, they like to have that product on board.
Oh,
'Cause it
exactly.
makes life so much more comfortable, doesn't it?
Exactly. So solar screens, which is our main product, it uses a solar film, comes in 4 colours, silver, grey, gold and bronze. And we also offer that product in either non-cassetted, cassetted or a motorised option as well. But we'll probably go into that in a separate podcast.
Yeah, just explain though. So, like, if somebody was looking, what makes it different from a normal blind? If someone was looking at our solar screens,
So
it's not like a blind that you would find in your kitchen, is it?
It's definitely not. So a blind you would find in a kitchen or anywhere in your house typically is designed not to let light through. Our solar screens are designed to let light through. They're translucent. You can see through them. But what they are designed to do is reduce the solar glare, and UV energy coming through. It's designed to break down heat energy and UV glare energy coming through the window. So you can still see through because you need to for navigable purposes, which is probably a topic we'll come on to in a later show. But yeah, it's designed to make the wheelhouse area of a vessel the most comfortable it can be for them so they can still navigate safely while breaking down sort of UV glare. That said, you do find solar screens don't always... The wheelhouse is the most common area for them, but you do find them in other areas. Cranes, we just mentioned, are quite common for them because, again, small confined space with window glass can be incredibly hot. I've actually seen them installed on some offices on cruise ships and things like that. But so that's our key product. Then we do Blackout and Dimout blinds. So a Blackout blind is like you probably have in your house. It is a blind that doesn't let light through.
Yeah.
Dimout blind is effectively a blind that offers a level of privacy. You do see them in some houses in the home market, but for those of you who aren't aren't aware of them, basically they allow a minimal amount of light through. You can't exactly see through them, but you could see a shadow through them, if that's probably the best way to make sense of it.
Do you know what? That kind of brings us on to we do a lot of exciting projects, don't we? So we're working with the top 10 cruise companies, river cruise companies, shipyards, you name it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that job that we did for Viking, Mississippi, which was sort of what we kind of do that's outside the realms of normal fitting of blinds? Yeah,
so basically we work off what architects or the client specifies to us, and sometimes they, push the realms of what's possible, and we have to find a way to get our products to fit. So with the Viking, Mississippi, they wanted motorized pleated blinds to fit an incredibly unique window space. The best way I can describe it is if you imagine like your jawline, it's this curved window shape, but obviously blinds can't be curved because of the nature of their fabric, it would crease.
Yeah.
So what we did was we put them in inside the mullions to make a load of straight blinds create the illusion of a curve. The problem we had was they wanted them motorized. Now, motorization brings in its own sort of fun and games, which we'll go into a later podcast, but we had to kind of adapt a motor to do what it isn't designed to do. So these blinds were effectively being installed at an angle and also wanting to go at a diagonal line down, whereas a motor would want to go straight down because it just wants to follow the line of gravity.
This is the thing with ship windows, and I think a lot of people don't realise it's not just rectangle.
Exactly.
It's angled, it's irregular, it's what we call tapered windows, aren't they?
Every bridge window is different as well. Like they're all incredibly interesting shapes, and sometimes you have a sloped bottom, sometimes you don't, sometimes a left-hand taper, right-hand taper, equilateral, unequal. You get some very interesting kind of shapes to work with, and it's just making sure you can adapt your product to fit that within the realms of what's possible.
This kind of brings us on to another podcast that we're going to be doing next time, which is about service. And the skill sometimes it takes to actually measure up the windows, because it's sometimes not a very easy task. And over the years, we've had it where some clients really struggle to get the right dimensions, and we offer a service, don't we, there, where we send our guys out to measure up, or we give them instructions as to how to do it effectively, don't we?
And the old adage is sort of measure twice, cut once is sort of the adage. Definitely measure twice, cut once. So that's kind of what we always kind of would suggest. If in doubt, we'll come and measure for you and make sure that everything's right and get everything spick and span for when it comes to the installation phase. So products, we did Dimout and Blackout blinds just there. They again come in your options of cassetted. A cassette is just simply an aluminium casing designed to protect either a roll of solar film or the roll of fabric. Cassettes come in 3 sizes of 46mm, which is like a very small cassette, 67mm, which is sort of a more standard size, and then 90mm, which is designed for very large blinds or motorized blinds, because the motors needs to be housed in a special sort of.
Well, motorization is kind of coming to the forefront now, isn't it? It's like it's starting to overtake the manual side, because technology is advancing. A lot of our clients want to get the blinds in place a lot quicker, especially if there's 60 blinds on the wing house of a ship. Having motorization is key, because you can click a button and it just all falls into place.
Yeah, I mean, particularly, there'll be a separate podcast on motorized to follow, but for motorization, the sort of thing is fit and forget. If you can wire it into the hardwired system on board, it's as simple. They're up for as long as their lifespan would have it, and it's just a case of press a button and they all go up, they all go down. So it does save a lot of time for the crew on board and make their life that little bit more comfortable and easy, because obviously these have the day job to do of actually running of a ship. And then there's non-cassetted, which doesn't involve a roller at all, kind of like you'd see a roller in your own house. It's an exposed roller. We'll do a separate chat about, I guess, the differences between cassetted and non-cassetted. The main reason being you get non-cassetted can kind of go as wide as it wants, to be honest, as long as you want the blind to be. Cassetted, it kind of, after a certain point, you'll get a saggage because of the nature of the way the roller works. But it'll look more visible on a cassetted system than it would a non-cassetted system. But I think we'll get into that at a later podcast.
We'll come back on
it's getting a bit technical for the introductory.
The other products we've got are window wipers. Are key for a ship to operate. Without them, the navigation in bad weather in stormy seas is extremely dangerous. But we also do window films that fit directly glass. We do a whole range of blinds.
Venetian blinds, pleated blinds, and in those categories yourself, you've got Dimout and Blackout for pleated blind options, also motorized and non-motorized. Venetian blinds, we do wooden, aluminium, faux leather, and they all come in different ranges of slats, 25, 35 and 50, which is just the thickness of the slat.
I think the key is that all the products that we do are marinized, aren't they? So they're fit for purpose offshore. You've often got very, not necessarily, it's the fact that water's involved, but you do have condensation on the windows. It is a wetter environment.
Well, it's a saltwater environment as well, so you need some element of protection for the product itself.
Correct. And we also approve everything as well. So all of our products, or the vast majority of them, are tested with the main class societies which operate in the maritime sector. Class societies are who put the legislation in place to make sure that the products that are being put on ships are fit for purpose, and that's we really invest a lot of money into that side. So a lot of our key products have approvals, which gives customers peace of mind, doesn't it? That the products they're putting on are going to last. You don't want to put something on your window and find that it's not fit for purpose and it only lasts 2 months.
I mean, the key certification element is effectively flame retardancy. Obviously, fires on ships are worst case scenario, so that's where the certification is mainly based around. Our solar screens and our adhesive solar window films and our blackout blind, well, one type of blackout blind, which we'll go into a later podcast, has a full Lloyd's type approval, which is effectively the Lloyd's certification offer saying this meets a certain criteria of standard. All of our Blackout and Dimout fabrics have a thing called IMO approval, which is effectively a flammability test. It's like you'd see FR on something in the land-based industry. That's what IMO effectively is the marine version of it. And then our wipers also carry a full type approval too. So we've got all this range of coverage through various certifications. Sorry if I can get my words out, which will offer you.
It's a lot. There's a lot of jargon, but ultimately, it's kind of it's approvals to put our products onto ships.
Mm-hmm. But this is exactly what we're saying when there's all this sort. It's quite a confusing industry, the marine industry. You know, even just in this 5-minute chat we've had, we've managed to sort of go into marine type approvals just purely by accident, and some people need a bit of guidance for that, right?
Yeah.
So it's just helping people through there, but it's all designed to give you peace of mind, which I suspect would probably lead us into, as a company, what we offer.
Yeah, I mean, as a company, what makes us kind of unique is the fact that we do actually care about our clients, and if anything does go wrong, and any company that says things don't go wrong are lying to you, because every company experiences issues, not necessarily because you've done something wrong, because circumstances have made something appear that you weren't expecting. And what we do as a company is we deal with everything head on, don't we?
Well, exactly. And we started this podcast by saying how it's a people-based industry and we love working with people and all that side of stuff. But it's true. And, these are relationships that you have to nurture. Things do go wrong. We've just mentioned how every single window shape on board a cruise ship can be unique. So, like Paul says, if someone's telling you nothing ever goes wrong, that would set major alarm bells off for me, because things do. We're all human at the end of the day. Things can happen. But for us, nurturing those relationships is very much kind of what we would pride ourselves on, I guess, is what we're
One thing I want to kind of mention, back in the early days when the company was very young, people would come with ideas about what they actually wanted, and sometimes you knew that wasn't necessarily the best solution. And we'd kind of just run with it because somebody was insisting.
Yeah.
I think as we've matured as a company, we're very good at passing our knowledge on to our clients, and we'll tell them if we feel that something really isn't going to work.
You see it loads in the yacht industry. People want like a roller blind for a certain area, and it's like, well, maybe a pleated blind might fit better with the yacht aesthetic, and also it's a lot less invasive on the area of installation, because in a yacht you have a lot less space to work with.
That brings us on to yachts in a very small way. We expanded into the yacht industry about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's a great industry. It's very, very different to the commercial side.
Yeah.
From our side, when it comes to our blinds, we've adapted the blinds to suit that industry. We're dealing with yacht builders as well as private owners. Very different demographics completely.
Yeah.
But exciting. I find it a very exciting industry as well.
Spiraling off from there, we get into the super yacht industry, which is sort of the premium. We deal with super yacht yards, we deal with super yacht owners.
Yeah. We've done one recently. We'll not give away any names, but we did a great project earlier in the month where our service engineers changed out the material on our solar screens on a super yacht on board, which should normally be done in controlled conditions, but we managed to do it successfully.
Yeah, just to meet the client's expectations, we certainly just went out and did it for them there and then. So so I guess our USP.
So anything else that you think that would kind of stand out? I know we bend over backwards for our clients.
Bend over backwards, but also the key bit is we're very much sure if something has gone wrong, and I don't want to keep on saying things go wrong because it doesn't sound great, but it is an element of human nature. But we're very much a company that will sort the problem first, ask questions later. Whereas some companies will instantly you'll see an arguing of where the blame is, almost like it's some form of insurance claim. It's nothing like that with us. You've got a problem with this blind, we will fix it for you. Then we'll discuss sort of how to avoid it again.
The other thing is we've got international distributors and agents dotted throughout the whole of the world.
Yeah.
And because we supply to a ship that could land anywhere in the world, we're exporting everywhere. And having the local guys on the ground as well helps with language barriers.
Yeah.
The maritime sector itself is 100% spoken English.
Very English, Anglophone, yes. 100%.
Yeah, but it's changing, especially with emerging markets such as Vietnam
and
places where it's good to be able to communicate in the local language.
Exactly. I mean, some places like the Far East, English doesn't have a strong foothold. So, like for instance, Vietnam, China, Japan. So having people out there who can help us negotiate sort of not just necessarily language barriers, but also sort of local customs that we're not used to, or local business practices that we're not used to, certainly helps as well to guide through there. So it's it's a huge industry, but effectively it's a very small family. That's the weird thing and quite the beautiful thing about the maritime industry when you think about it.
Well,
You've got
I
all these
think
lovely
people don't even
relationships.
think about the maritime industry. The amount of goods that are being traded all the time, 24/7. You know, when you go to sleep, there's ships all over the world transporting goods, and I think we often think of aeroplanes and various other forms of transport, but the fact is the shipping industry is huge, and they're doing such a huge thing about sustainability at the moment as well to try and make
sustainability is key at the minute. In
and it's affecting everything that happens in the industry. Again, we're going to be looking at that ourselves. We are already, but we're going to be looking at it in a lot more detail over the coming years. We've got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about on that as well at some point. So the podcast was just an introduction to kind of introduce the company, but the maritime sector is going to be the theme throughout everything we talk about, isn't it? We're dealing with seafarers, mariners, people that work on cruise ships, superintendents,
ship chandlers,
purchasing managers, you name it. Anybody that operates within the industry, and it's an exciting industry, isn't it? I'll say it again. I couldn't personally see myself working in any other industry. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So
With it being so unique, it would certainly be a culture change going anywhere else. So I couldn't imagine it either. Yeah.
So just to round it off, as well as our products, we offer service as well, whereby we send our team of experienced guys out to do surveys. We do installations. We do commissioning,
repair work.
Yeah, and also on the motorisation side, we get everything set up with the local electricians on board these vessels as well. So it's really exciting. I want to touch on lots of different aspects over the coming months to do with the maritime sector. We've got lots of exciting stuff coming up as well, haven't we, where the team, we're such a close-knit team of what we're going to be doing together that's a bit more fun as well.
Yeah.
And we've got lots of fun stories that we can talk about that have happened to us as a company over the years. But we're dead passionate about the company as well, and that's what makes us such a great team, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, this, like Paul says, this is just purely an introduction to the whole sort of where we are and who we are. And in the coming weeks, we'll be more of a guiding hand, sort of guiding people through things like marine legislation, wiper systems, solar screens, all this sorts of survey work, install work, and we'll go a lot more into depth and sort of explain things in full.
We've got a few experts going to be coming into the panel as well to talk about things, so it's not just going to be me and you. But there's a lot of funny things that have happened to the team over the years, and I want to talk about that and go a little bit off piste as well, talking about some things that are related to maritime, but not necessarily about the products or the company itself. So that's quite exciting as well. So I just want to round it off there, Andrew, and just say thank you to everyone for listening. If you want to follow the podcast, it's Brighter Horizons. It's our first one. Really enjoyed it. And
if there's any questions that any of you have, or if there's any sort of inquiries that any of you may have, please feel free to visit our website, solarglide.com.
Well, thanks to everybody for listening and tuning into our first ever podcast. I know it's been really exciting for myself, and the same for you, Andrew. Really excited to share more topics and conversations with you on the next one. We'll be bringing one in April, which is not too far away. And thank you again for listening and checking out from the maritime industry. Thank you.